Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Path to Light, our March newsletter from the Serene Way. Thanks for taking a moment of your time. This month, I thought I'd talk a little bit about frustration and how it insinuates and infiltrates into many aspects of our lives. This is one emotion where one frustration can become many. If we're frustrated or tired, if we drop something, we can explode quite easily. So that frustration can lead to anger. It can lead to guilt when we're angry because we're feeling bad about things. So where does frustration come from? I think we have several different types of frustration or several different places where it comes from. And one of them is from ourselves. So if we're in a rut, for example, we're frustrated with ourselves and what's going on. We can be frustrated with another person. And in that instance, it could be that the person is not giving us what we want or is not doing what we want. In that case, it becomes very self-centered. And then we also have work-related frustrations, and they're a combination of both the other two. And in my experience, what happens for me is that when I become frustrated, I also get depressed. So there's another way, and it's a very depressing energy as well if we look at it that way. It's a lower energy, so again, we're looking at a low pressure system coming in, and it infiltrates into other parts of our lives. And this one particular frustration that I had, for about 8 months, I was able to put it away in doing my own work. And what I found was that after a while, after those 8 months, it actually started to affect my work life because it was something in my own personal life. I was getting very frustrated and I couldn't get things done and everything I touched seemed to fall apart. So what I do, and from my own experience, what I found that works for me is taking a moment away, so a little retreat. And that retreat I call an intervention. So I'm going inside because inside is where I'll find the answers to what's going on. These are my emotions, so indeed I am responsible for them. They're coming from me, so I have to find out why they're there, what they're doing there, and in some way what I can do to get past them, to release them so that I can move through life much more easily and smoothly. And I realized that after about 8 months I wasn't coping. So the first 4 months of this year were rather difficult. We can bury things, we can sweep them under the carpet, but after a while the lump in the carpet gets so big that we're bound to trip over it. And for me, I found that in my life it was affecting how I interacted with other people. And I like to be a happy person. I like to be happy when I'm around other people so that we are the best we can be together. We are our better selves, as I like to say. And sometimes we find it very difficult to talk about things. We can think about things, they might not get done, we can talk about things, but then we have to act upon them. And sometimes we need tools. If another person is involved, we have to find the right way in order to bring up a discussion so that we're not going into this discussion on the offense, and if we're not going in, then the other person is not taking up a defensive position. So we have to find a way in order to bring about that discussion, and there's tools that we can use. So during my intervention, going inside myself in my retreat, I look into my heart, because that's where we all find our empathy and our compassion, not for just other people, but for ourselves. So that's why it's an intervention, going inside. And the heart is the fourth chakra, and I call it an awakening. But I'm using a word from French, and when I was dancing, we used to lift, and that lift on our toes, up onto the ball of our toe, for man or up onto point, was called a releve. So I call it a relevation, because it's an awakening, and it's the fourth relevation because it's coming from the heart, and because it's going inside, it's an intervention. So I took some time, and through that process, in taking that time, There were TV shows that came on. There were articles that I had read that helped to open up a discussion that weren't about me trying to talk about my feelings and what somebody else was doing. It was a very easy way to bring up a discussion where nobody was taking on either part. It was a sharing of information. And that's what we do. We share that information. We connect to the inside. And we share that information very peacefully and very calmly in order to be our better selves and create a better world around us, both for ourselves and everybody who comes into our path. And that's what's going on. So I call it the fourth relevation and an intervention. And I call it the teachings of Michael because I had a dream. And this is incorporated into my Reiki training as well. I combine the traditional Usui Reiki with the Reiki that was developed during my healing journey called Reiki Raga Ray. So we're connecting to the body and creating positive coping mechanisms for all of those depressive emotions that we have, like frustration. And I'm launching my training sessions on April the 28th. So it's anybody who is interested in energy therapy, Reiki, or in just learning about themselves and self-development, self-control, and self-discovery, and self-realization. So those are all parts of this process, and the teachings of Michael, the fourth relevation, Innervention, and the personal practice level of Reiki Raga Ray. So again, if you're interested, you can contact me through my website, www.thesereneway.com. As well, I'm continuing the Gentle Yoga Path to Self-Discovery Wednesdays at 7 p.m. with private residence. That's a new class in the beach. And Saturdays at 11 a.m. at St. Paul's Trinity United Church, Florence, Medina, here in Toronto. So if anybody's interested in that and is in the area, please do come up and join us. As well, this past month in March on Traveler, Seekers, and Wandering Ways, our web radio program on Intuitive Soul Radio, we had Terry Segal, Rhythmic by Nature. Great interview. Terry's a drum facilitator and expressive arts therapist. So please do check out the archives on intuitivesoul.com for that interview. And coming up in April, we have Jason Fonseca of SpiritSentient.com. Please do check out his website and join us on the last Thursday. That's next Thursday, April the 29th, live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please do check us out there. And coming up in May, we have Stelio from Metro Movement, a dance studio here in Toronto, and you can check them out at metromovement.com. And also, please do take some time to check out the archives on Intuitive Soul with the other shows that host and producer Lori Houston has on her website, and that's intuitivesoul.com. So check out those archives. And that's about it. So just to recap, frustration, there is a way to deal with it. We have the Gentle Yoga, the Path to Self-Discovery on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and web radio, Traveler, Seekers, and Wandering Ways, on the last Thursday of each month at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Intuitive Soul. And this is Tim saying, I wish you bliss. The Serene Way, a comprehensive and peaceful approach to life that can guide you on the path from what you know to the realization of what you can become.